painting and tearing up the stuff. Because you're drawing on the wall and all that. We ain't got time for all that. Hey y'all, so welcome back to my channel. I'm so excited about this video today and to kind of bring you just some different tips about what's going on in real estate. If you haven't already, please go back and look at my channel. Make sure that you like and subscribe. But if you don't know who I am, my name is Candace Spann and my channel is going to be infused with all things home, faith, inspiration, real estate, home accessories. I'm just going to be a one-stop place for that. So if you're looking to learn about real estate, you're looking to see decor, home accessories, creativity, and also infused with faith and inspiration in Jesus, then you're at the right place. If you haven't, I talked about it a little bit, but please go back and look at some of my recent videos. I've talked about so many different things. I had a therapy session with a LPC here in Charleston, and just kind of got a perspective for how therapy and faith works together. I talked about just kind of my recent closing experience that I've had just in the past, why you should buy new construction, and then also just like infusing like vlogs. So check out all of the videos that I have. Today though, in this video, what I'm going to be talking about is the other side of home ownership that a lot of people don't mention. You'll see with real estate channels how to make money, how to get houses under contract, you know, how to become a first-time home buyer, what do you need for your loan processes, etc. We do a lot of education. But I was recently on the phone with one of my friends and he mentioned like,
man, people don't talk about all the stuff in home ownership that you need after the fact.
And I was like, you know what? That is going to be a really good video. So in this video, I'm going to talk about you bought your home, now what? And this is going to be practical tips that you can always go back to, and then just always just keep in mind, you know, throughout your home ownership process. So I have my notes right here written down, so I'm going to be looking down, just kind of keeping up with what I'm talking about. But let's talk about you bought your house, now what? So we just got from the closing table, you got your keys, you're beginning to move in, you're excited, you know, you got all your stuff set up, you got all the movers set up, you've already transferred all the utilities in your name, and now, you know, all your family has left and it is just you and whether it's your significant other in this home, and now it is time to actually call yourselves homeowners. Scary, right? A lot of people are like, oh my gosh, like I really did this. Well, the first tip that I want to give you after you own your home, the first thing that I want you to do is breathe. Breathe and take the moment in. Just take in the fact that one, especially if you had a process that was amazing, it was very seamless, there was nothing going on, taking the moment where you actually just had a peaceful experience. And even if your experience was not peaceful, let's talk about the fact that you jumped over all these hurdles, you were persistent, you didn't give up, and you got to the finish line. So I encourage a lot of people, especially my clients, this is a big milestone. You cannot just come into this place and expect everything to just be like, oh my gosh, it's gonna be so great. At some point, you may begin grieving the fact that you were a renter, but guess what? You are a homeowner. So you have to take the moment to just take it in, relax, and just thank God for what has happened. God, we thank you for what has happened. You know, stand in your kitchen, touch around, just really bask in the presence that you done all the work to get you to this point. That's the whole point of the whole process. You've done it. And this is a moment to just celebrate and take it in. I know a lot of people may think so far ahead in the future, oh my gosh, I gotta think about this, I gotta do this, I gotta do that. Let's take a moment and just take it in. That's the first thing I want to do. Relax, shawty. You doing too much, okay? First thing, breathe, take it in, relax, and enjoy what you have. The second tip that I want to give you is begin making your home a home. You may have moved from a place where you rented, you may have lived with family, you may have rented a house and now you're moving into a house. It's time for you to now make it your own. I have worked in the design field, and as you can see, I've been living in my home for the past 2 years now, and let me tell you something, I have the worst commitment issues when it comes to creating a design style. I still ain't made my house a home. And that should tell you, even working in design field and in real estate, it takes time to make things a home. It's not just going to be like, you just roll in and all the furniture that you have are going to match. Sometimes you buy pieces from offline and the pieces don't even go together. But my whole point of this point is make it a home. You now have the opportunity to paint the walls. You can hang things up. You can mount your TV. You don't have all these restrictions of what you can and can't do. This is your home and you own this. Make it yours. So that's going to be my second tip. Within the second tip, when you're making it a home, start room by room. You don't have to furnish your entire home all at one time. One, because furnishing a home is extremely, extremely expensive. And I think people, as they become adults and as we begin adulting, you're like, dang, a rug start at $500? Yeah, a good rug could start higher than $500. I'm just saying. You know what I mean? The cost of mirrors alone will have you like, oh, okay, so I don't think I need a mirror that big. You see what I mean? So just start room by room. And when I'm talking about money, that's going to take me into the third point that I want to talk about. You bought this house, you're excited, you took the moment and you're now beginning to make it home. Let's talk about creating a financial plan. This is going to be one of the biggest tips that you're going to do as a homeowner, and this is going to be probably the most important thing that you can do. Create a financial plan truly of the expectations of what you're going to be doing in the home and all the things that's going to be coming up. So the first thing is, if you live in the state of South Carolina, my clients know this, before your first mortgage payment, South Carolina automatically puts you on a secondary tax rate. So South Carolina has a primary tax rate of 4%, and then they also have a secondary residence tax of 6%. If you are in the state of South Carolina, once you close on your home, after the first 30 days, you need to go ahead and get your voter's registration, your driver's license, all of your stuff transferred to your brand new home address. And then you need to go to the municipality office that your home is located, so whatever county you're in, and then you need to apply for the primary resident tax rate. If you do not do that, that 6% difference on that mortgage payment will be a couple of grand. So make sure the first thing that you do once you move in on your financial strategy in the state of South Carolina is to change your secondary tax rate to your primary. Now, if you own an investment property, we'll talk about that in another video. But for those who are owning it as a primary residence, 4% is what you need to change it to. And you need to get all your documents, driver's license, and everything set up to the 4% tax rate. At the attorney's office, they'll tell you and they'll give you an application of what to do next. So they'll get you all prepared. The second thing with financial planning for your house, prepare a decor budget. With me working in design, I've realized with interior design, I thought that I was going to be doing more of the styling. I thought that I was going to be the designer where I'm going to be doing all the furniture and moving things around. Honestly, I've come to the point that I actually want to work on the accessory or the product side of interior design. I don't necessarily, I think because of what all that I have going on right now, I don't think that I actually want to be physically having to do all the furniture and the styling. I do want to do the products. So I do want to do the accessories and the lamps and the, beddings and all this kind of stuff, window treatments. But let me tell you, that stuff is extremely expensive. I will start with a client and give an idea that each room, fully furnished, from rugs, bedding, mattresses, dressers, window treatments, rods, start between $3,000 to $5,000 per room. Yeah. And that's like fully furnishing it. And I'm not talking about buying pieces on, Facebook Marketplace and here and there. I'm talking about when you fully are trying to furnish a place, it costs a lot of money. And when I talked about in tip 2 about making it a home, doing it room by room, start room by room. The reason why I tell people to budget $3,000 to $5,000 a room, because one, bedding costs a lot, sofas cost a lot, rugs cost a lot, pictures cost a lot. So this stuff is not cheap. You got to understand that when you want to put quality things in your home, it's going to cost money. So take your time and do it room by room. Now, if you're trying to be on a budget and you're trying to really find some little pieces, thrift, go on Facebook Marketplace. They have all these little things that you can use, but you just want to make sure that you do some quality control. Even though it's cheap, but it's is the quality worth you buying it? Meaning that you're going to have to buy it again by next year. Is that going to be worth it? For some people it is, but for me, I'm just like, man, you know what? I might as well buy a brand new. So create a financial plan for your decor budget as well, because it's extremely expensive. Do not play around, okay? The third thing, fees. Fees. I know it feels like it could be a lot, but you didn't buy a home expecting the home to be cheap. You bought a home because you wanted some more financial stability, right? Here are going to be some fees that I'm going to talk about that you may, as a homeowner, need to consider. So one of them is going to be HOA. If you live in a neighborhood that has an HOA, there may be some requirements, like you may have to pay it quarterly. You may have to pay it monthly. I know with some detached houses, you actually pay your HOA annually. So there may be a one-time fee. Put that on your calendar. Put a reserve and a reminder on your calendar that at this day, every month or every quarter, it's required for me to pay this amount. Now with your HOA, you have that expectation at time of closing what your HOA is. So by me telling you that, you don't have a surprise that your HOA is a different amount. You know what your HOA is by the time of closing. Now when they change the amount, that's a different story. We'll talk about that in another video, because you need to be attending your HOA meetings about pricing anyway. So we'll talk about that another time. So fees, HOA is going to be one of them. Another one is if you own a detached house, landscaping. You need to think about like who's going to be cutting your grass, who's going to be keeping up with the hedges, the bushes, who's going to be redoing things. And if you're not going to stick with the standard builder's pine straw, maybe you want to do mulch, maybe you want to do rock, create a budget for that. Landscaping is not cheap.
It's just not cheap.
Okay, I'm just gonna be real. Like rock alone for the front of like a home could cost like $5,000. So just think about it. Just think about the fees. Create a plan on what it's gonna be for your landscaping. And if you got an uncle, cousin, brother, whoever, get them to cut the grass, but put it on a schedule.
Because the HOA will remind you that your grass is not cut.
Okay, so just keep that in mind. Another fee that you want to consider is pest control. Pest control. I know with some people who own townhomes, they may have a company that comes in, it's already built into their HOA that comes sprays like every month or every quarter. If you own a detached house, you will have to consider getting your house sprayed. You know, they may be in like spiders, or you may have water bugs. I know in Charleston, we have a lot of wet areas, so there's a lot of palmetto bugs, mosquitoes. I mean, you just want to make sure that your pest control is under control. I mean, even ants. I know when I moved into my house, there was like ants everywhere. I'm like, well, what's going on? Ain't no food around here, but you have to invest in pest control. So that's going to be another fee. Another fee that you want to think about is going to be security. So security. Now, I know a lot of us may do Ring doorbell and we may have things set up. Ring doorbell still also costs money to withhold an account. Now, as far as, you know, like CPI security, ADT, I think that my bill may be around $70 a month. Maybe 90 max. Now, and that's with cameras, front, back, doorbell, motion sensors, safety glass breaking. You know, you can kind of set up a budget, but keep that in mind that security is going to be a thing because you have to secure, you know, this prized possession that you have. You want to make sure that everything is set up for that. The last fee that you want to consider is if you bought a home with a loan program that was a promotion, or maybe it was a buy down, or maybe it was like a float down, or whatever it is. And what I mean by that is sometimes with these buy downs, it may be a 3-1, 2-1, 1-1. That's a lot of real estate lingo, right? What I mean by that is some people's mortgage is set up where first year is the lowest, the second year is the highest, the third year it's at the market rate. You want to have that on your calendar. You want to financially prepare that there may be an adjustment for your loan program. Now, if you have a fixed permanent rate, there's not going to be any adjustments that you're going to have to look out for besides taxes and insurance. Other than that, if you have a mortgage program that floats, or it's a buy down, or was a promotion, do not forget to add that to your calendar that your payment could change at some time. Now, you might be thinking, well, why would people even do this, right? Well, people want to get in the house, and sometimes people will do programs in order to get the home that they love. So, and I talked about it on TikTok. If you don't know, I go live every Wednesday, TikTok at 8 o'clock, and you can find me at _Candace Fan the Realtor. Sometimes on the live, I'm either teaching the word for the first like 30 minutes or whatever. And then after that, you know, we'll talk about real estate, we'll trip, we'll have good Charleston fun. Like we'll just cut up on it. We won't have a good time. But the recent live that I did, I talked about down payment assistance. There's a difference between down payment assistance and grants. Grants is going to be something that is free. They give it to you. There's no expectation that you'll get it back. You may have to do a class. You may have to do a certain list of accreditation in order to get this grant. Down payment assistance is something that comes with a consequence. So it could be a second lien on your mortgage. It could be a time frame of when you had to live into a house. DPA is not something that is free, but DPA is something that helps people get into their homes. So everybody's situation is different. So you just got to be sure that you are educated about the loan program that you have, and you know exactly what your loan program is so that you can financially prepare if there is changes in the future. All of that is a lot, right? For fees, it seems very, very intimidating. If you have a good realtor, you will be privy to these things. And if you don't, then I'm sorry, you should have booked with me. I'm just saying. But honestly though, you should have knowledge and education about these things, and these are things that you should be looking for as far as the fees is concerned. Once again, you didn't buy a home expecting it to be cheap. You did buy a home expecting it to have some financial security, because while your mortgage payment will stay the same, taxes, insurance, HOA, things like that can change. So just keep that in mind. The fourth tip that I want to give you is have a housewarming. Have your housewarming. It's time to celebrate. It's time to turn up. It's time to have a good time. Have your housewarming. But if you know that it's going to be a little tight on money, don't make it just a barbecue and a cookout for everybody to hang out. Make it a financial housewarming. And yeah, make an Amazon wish list and send it out. And you're wanting toiletries. You want people to help you with the ceiling fan. You want Lowe's or Home Depot's gift cards. Make it that type of party where it's not just a kickback. We eating baby shower meatballs and chicken wings. I need some money. Cause I'm in my office now, and that's why I got this light over here, because I ain't got no ceiling fan. Because ain't nobody ever give me no money with my housewarming. You know what I mean? So what I'm saying is make your housewarming what you want it. Definitely celebrate. Definitely have a good time. But ask for what you want. The Bible talks about you have to ask and you shall receive. Believing in faith, you will receive a thing. Step out on faith. If you can buy me 3 ceiling fans, that would be great. You know what I mean? And you just never know how your family will show up and show out for you when it comes to asking for it at your housewarming and when y'all are celebrating. The fifth thing that I'm going to add is, please, for the love of the Lord Jesus Christ,
stop listening to social media.
If I gotta say this a million times, y'all will make me scream. Stop listening to social media, y'all. If I look on TikTok one more time and it tells me that, oh, I got my house and now my mortgage payment is so much higher than I thought it was going to be, and I was not ready, don't let them people fool y'all. Because they sat at that closing table and they had an expectation and they had to sign documents that they understood what they knew. Nobody's going to bait and switch you on legal documents with an attorney. Stop listening to social media. Everybody's situation is different, and how you got your house is probably not how they got their house. Also, location determines pricing too. So taxes and insurance also can change. You should have had this expectation prior to you closing. And if you don't, then your realtor failed you. And I'm sorry, but that just it bothers me when I get on social media. I have all these clients that come in and then they're getting all these extra inspection reports and all this kind of stuff. And
girl, we don't live in California.
What test are you talking? Well, I saw this girl on TikTok, and the girl on TikTok was saying I need to get. What a girl on TikTok live at? Don't tear my nerve up with that man, y'all. If y'all have questions, genuinely ask them. Ask them for clarity before you assume that it applies to you. Like I said, everybody's situation is different. And understand, you don't buy a house being absent of the market. You bought a house understanding that the market will change. You bought a house with financial security, and you also bought a house probably knowing that there was going to be some type of equity somewhere, somehow, right? I'm pretty sure a lot of us have, because trust me, I have. And you have to understand, you gotta pay attention to the news. You gotta pay attention to the financial markets. You can't just be in the house and not be absent of the present day of what's going on. Right now, the market has dipped. The rates have dropped. People are like, oh, you had to be in a recession. You can't be in your home not understanding what's going on in the market. So understand that education is continued. And it's something that you have to evolve with as the market continues to go up and down. It's going to change. And you have to be aware of that, whether you're on the buyer side or whether you're on the seller side. Keep that in mind. Number 6 is going to be celebrate when you're ready. You don't have to rush into having this grand celebration. I know in a couple tips back, I talked about having your housewarming and talking to your family. I was really pairing that with the financial tip. Making a housewarming a party where, people can really come up and support you financially for a home, because it is expensive. But also, on top of with the other tips, celebrate when you're ready. I think when I bought my home, I didn't have a housewarming until like a year or two later, a year and a half later, because I wanted to make sure that I had furniture, and the people wasn't sitting on the floor, because my first house, we've been sitting in fold up chairs in the living room. And the second house, all I had was a couch. So you just got to take your time. You ain't got to rush to show everybody your house. You ain't got to rush to have a party. Take your time. Take your time. Take it all in. Cover your house, pray in your home, make it what you want it. But take your time celebrating. Don't let nobody rush you. And even if your family try to, man, wait, I ain't gonna come see the house. Girl, look, let me get a furniture before you be sitting on the roof. You know what I mean? Like, give me time and set that boundary. This is my home. I bought this for me and my family. And of course, yeah, y'all are guests. Y'all can come. But look, let me enjoy what I have first before y'all try to come in. You know what I mean? Like, coming in and tearing up the stuff. Get your drawing on the wall and all that. We ain't got time for all that. Give yourself time to celebrate. You don't have to rush and show everybody everything. And then last but not least, with all the tips, what I will say is use the amenities that you have in the community and all the stuff that you pay for. Socialize and get to know your neighbors. If you live in a neighborhood that has HOA, it has a pool, it has a park, it has all these trails, use the amenities. Socialize, get out to know people. You ain't paying this money monthly or annually just to not be using a pool. Get your pool fob, talk to the HOA, get an understanding of where you are, understand what's going on in your community. Get involved in events. If you're a family or you're a mom, they may have events on like social media. Sometimes the HOA will have community pages, so join your HOA page, see what's going on in the neighborhood. Now, one thing I will say about them HOA pages,
them people is full.
They get on that page and cut up. Them people don't have no other outlet but that HOA page, so take it with a grain of salt. See what you see, get what you need, and get off, because it's so negative, right? But use the amenities that you have, the trails, the gardens. Get your family involved, become active, become different, and even if you're an introvert, open the blinds sometimes. You use that amenity, your blinds. But no, seriously though, in all seriousness, use the amenities that you have. Check out the neighborhood. You didn't move here for this reason, just to be sitting in the house all day. Get some sunlight. Take your dog to the dog park. I have a dog park in my neighborhood, and Leo, he loves it. And then, just use what you pay for and get to know your neighbors. Talk, socialize. When they come outside and walking your dog, be a little friendly. And this doesn't necessarily mean like people got to know what's going on in your home, but it's a fact that you just never know when you'll need your neighbors. And I'm gonna say this and then I'll be done. I am very much a private person. You will only see certain parts of my home, or the parts that I show you, right? But I'm also like, child, I don't need to be talking to every neighbor, because they don't need to know everything that's going on in my home. Here I am trying to move all this furniture in the house. I kid you not, my neighbor next door saw me and my family struggling with, I had to get like a new bed, a new mattress, and this king size bed. And my friend, he helped out, but like I couldn't lift the other end of the mattress. So my neighbor, who's a guy, he was like,
y'all need help?
And I was like, yes, please. He came over and helped. And then from that point, we talking about a garden in between our house. Next thing you know, he's like, Candace, the storm did this to the side of your house. You need to call the HVAC. We just helping each other out. You just never know. And even when you leave your garage door up, it's good to have a neighbor to text you and say, hey, friend, your door is up. Do you want me to put it down? You just never know why you need your neighbors. So connect and socialize with the people that you have around you. So that is all that I have about buying a house and what to expect, and just kind of the tips of what you can look for after you own. Buying a house is going to be an expensive investment, but it's so worth it. It's so rewarding. You do have some gratification out of it, but honestly, it takes time to get to that beautiful mark. You see all these gorgeous houses that you looked at on Zillow or whatever it is, or MLS, before you bought it, but it took time for people to invest in those things. And also it takes time for you to make money to put back into your home. So give yourself grace. Don't feel like you have to rush, but take these tips, write them down, go back, listen to this video, and apply it to your situation. Everybody's house is different. Everybody's situation is different. So use these tips for what works for you. I am over and out, and I really appreciate you guys for always listening and tuning into my videos. Once again, my name is Candace Spann, and I'm a licensed realtor in the state of South Carolina. You can find me on all pages _Candace Spann or _Candace Spann the Realtor. If you are interested in any design, home accessories, you can find my design page at www.abundantliferestore.com. You can also find my direct page at www.candacespann.com. And if you are listening to my podcast, I also have a podcast where I talk about all these things as well on there. And my podcast name is The Missing Piece by Candace Spann. So I really appreciate your support. Please like and subscribe this video. And if you own a house, leave some comments below about what you wish you would have known before you moved in, or now that you're in it, what else could you leave for somebody else? So thanks for watching, guys. I'll see y'all next time. Bye.